What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Getting back to working on this thing. There's a lot to unpack here today. We're in a new place. There's a story behind that. We're doing a lot of different things, but we'll get into that later. Maybe at the end of the video we'll get to that. But for today, for right now, the most important thing is we are changing a steering box on this thing. Kind of a story behind that, and we'll kind of get into that as we go. But for now, let's just get the old box off, and then we'll go over why we're changing it, what we're changing it to, all that fun stuff. So the first thing I want to address before we get anywhere into this is excuse the mess. There's some stuff going on here that's not correct. I know this for a fact. This is 100% not correct. But like I said, there's a story, okay? We just need to get this off. I know what I've done isn't right, and there's a reason. But getting these off is pretty simple. So you want to take your pitman arm off, and on a Dodge, it's wide open here, so that's simple. If need be, take your tie rod off, take the pitman out with the box, and be good there. We want to take the steering shaft off right here. That needs to come off. And then there's two lines up top, a feed and a return line, that need to come off. And lastly, you have three mounting bolts, one here, one here, one here. That's gonna drop the steering box on your face so you can finish getting it out. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the pitman arm off, since it should be super simple. Steering shaft, I like to leave the lines until the last little bit because they're messy. But let's start getting this thing ripped out of here, and I will show you what we're working with. So before we start ripping and tearing, I guess I should show you what I'm up against first. This steering box is an upgraded 6-bolt box. That should work awesome, right? Well, it doesn't. I've had this problem for the last, 6 to 8 months. I'm gonna say it's been on here 6 to 8 months, and I've been fighting this the entire time. And I know I should have changed it sooner, but here we are. So the main problem is this pitman arm right here. More importantly, the sector shaft of the steering box. So this is a 6-bolt box that's been adapted to 4th gen stuff. They make their own sector shafts, they make their own inputs for the steering gear, steering input shaft. So what you should be able to do is take the old one out, put the new one in. Easy peasy, done deal. Not so much, because this sector shaft has never ever been able to hold a pitman arm. I've tried 2 different pitman arms, doesn't do it. I'll show you what it does. Watch this twist. So I hope that showed up on the video, but the whole time I've had this steering box on here, and that's the washer, that's the nut that's not supposed to be there. Everything I've done, sketchy stuff that I've done, it's not right, is to see if I can get this thing right before I put a new steering box on it, which I can't. And what's going on is the pitman arm is going up the sector shaft on the taper. The nut and the washer bottom out on the sector shaft before the before the pitman arm can get tight. No matter what I do, no matter what spacer I put in there, I can't get enough. And I'm done messing with it. Truthfully, last time we messed with this trying to get things right, the threads on the sector shaft got messed up. So not only am I dealing with a steering box that doesn't hold a pitman arm, but on top of that, to make it better, I'm also dealing with a pitman arm that's really close to not holding a nut. So that's why this is coming out of here, and we're moving on to a different box altogether. So moving on from here, we got the pitman arm off, steering shafts off. We have 2 of the 3 mounting bolts out. I was hoping to get the lines from underneath. No big deal. For the tools I have, it's gonna be easier to do it up here. The tools you have might be easier to get down below, whatever. But for what I have, this is gonna be easier in the long run. So, and excuse the mess. This is a truck. Oof, sorry about the light too. So these lines right here, we want to take this one and this one out of the box. And then we can take that last bolt out right there. And that box will come right out. So this is what we're dealing with. This is the old box. I really don't want to drop names because I don't want them to think I'm bad mouthing them at all. I think it's a great box, aside from the issue I'm having. Now, this box came out of Canada, lesser known company that makes these. And first impressions, it's, you know, was nice. Like I told you guys, it will not hold a pitman arm to save its life. That pitman arm that was just on the truck, the end of the pitman arm, it was, well, let me grab one. Let me grab a spare real quick because I have spares now. The pitman arm that was on here, let's see, it probably isn't right, but it's on there. It's not gonna do what I want it to do. So the pitman arm that was on here would come up and not just bottom out here where the nut bottoms out, but it would go past. So nothing I put on here, nut washer wise, is gonna push that up enough. And on top of that, it's just not right. And as you can see, the threads are messed up. Like I've messed with this enough and had enough hang-ups that this steering box just isn't worth it to me anymore to mess with and try to figure out. So that's why I bought what I should have bought in the first place. So this is PSC's version of this same retrofit box. So what they do, the sector shaft is machined to accept a 3rd gen pitman arm. The input shaft over here from the steering column is made to accept a 3rd gen column rather than using an adapter like you would have to do if you're using a standard 4th gen box. From the outside, they're both going to look the same. Obviously, the threads are better. Hopefully the sector shaft fits a lot better than this one did. But from the outside, there's really not much I can tell you. I can tell you the main difference from going from a standard 4-bolt flange box to the 6-bolt flange. And what I mean by that is this top plate has 6 bolts in it. Factory 3rd gen stuff has 4 bolts and it's a lot smaller. The components inside of this steering box, as far as the gear, the rack, and all the pistons and whatever magic happens in here, and we might tear this one apart because it's junk and no good to anybody, is to see exactly what's inside. But just know that PSC takes pride into making sure it's absolutely right. They even gave you a mark right here to tell you that this is the center of the box. This box is centered. So, like I was saying before, it's kind of hard to show you outside without really tightening things down. But this pitman arm is the first pitman arm I took off because it was wrong. And when you actually put some pressure on it, it's gonna make a liar out of me, but when you actually put pressure on it and try to tighten down, this pitman arm slips right on, and like I said, your nut and your washer bottom out. Hopefully with this guy, that is not the case. We don't have any issues with this one. So, kind of a reversal to taking it out. We're just gonna slam this one right back in there and move on with our day. Okay, so on the PSC box, I ran the nut up until it started getting tight. I did without the washer, lock washer, so that I could back it off and show you. If you see on this, that there's still room to go on the pitman arm to get it down before it bottoms out on the sector shaft. The other one was this much lip, if not more, to the top side, which means it still wasn't tight. This one, honestly, I'm a little skeptical. Maybe my problem is these pitman arms. I don't know. So I'm gonna put the nut on there with the lock nut, or lock washer, and then I'm gonna run it tight, run it for a little bit, basically see how it works out. See if it's tight, see if it's right. I do have a lot more faith in this box. I hate power steering lines. I'll tell you that right now. I always fight them. I don't know why. That's why I had to put you guys down. Steering shaft's back on. That's gonna be back on. I need to put my inner fender back on. That is a little easier if you take that inner fender out to get to the lines up top and do that kind of stuff, but it's the little details and little things you'll find when you do this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna get this put back together, get the air bled out of it. I'll show you that maybe. It's not really too hard to do. The power steering reservoir on these trucks are kind of in a stupid spot, but we'll run through that, and then we need to hit the road. So let's get this finished up. All right, so now that we got everything back together, this truck is horrible with trying to get you guys to see what's going on. So in here, power steering reservoir down in the hole. Best way to do this, fill it up, start it quick, shut it off, fill it up, do that over and over again. The only reason I wouldn't suggest just starting the truck and filling it up as it's running is on a lot of vehicles, this is more of a reservoir tank. You probably might have that same issue, but a lot of cars and trucks and things that if you fill them when they are running and then shut them off, they'll actually gain fluid. So it'll come out the top and make a mess and all that fun stuff. So I do it the way I do it, and I always have, and it works. So needless to say, the system's full, everything's tight. This thing's ready to go, inner fender's back on, all that fun stuff. I'll keep you guys updated on what I find on that, as far as if it is the box or if I am chasing the wrong thing and I just put a box on it for no reason because the pitman arms wore out. I don't know. I got to put some time on it, put some miles on it, make sure everything's tight, and see what happens. So that part of it's done. Now the little tidbit on the change of scenery. I have found myself an opportunity kind of moving forward. I'm not going to give too much away just yet, but I will shout out one of my good buddies. And I have a hard time pronouncing his channel, but I love the guy. He's great. He made me this sign, right? And if that sign's any indication of things to come, take it as that. But I am working on things. It doesn't look like much right now. You know, baby steps. But this is something I couldn't do in my driveway. I need a place to do it. So I'll leave it at that. Other fun thing. This truck right here. You guys haven't seen this. I have a whole bunch of videos I could make on this. You guys haven't seen that, and I actually have a lot of history with this truck. So if you guys are interested, maybe if you're not interested, I'm gonna make some videos on it. But either way, let me know. And I'm gonna try to get back into this because I miss making videos, I miss putting out the content for you guys, and there's a lot to do. So I hope you guys forgive me for being gone for so long. I hope you guys forgive me for getting back into making videos too. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I gotta get going. The reason we did this box today is I need the truck, and I don't want to drive the truck as far as I need to drive the truck, and know in the back of my mind that pitman arm is ready to leave the chat, because as you saw, the threads on the sector shaft were gone. The pitman arm doesn't even hold on, so if the nut did fall off, it's goodbye. So anyway, all that to say, thank you guys for watching the video, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.